Hey guys, the last Shoegazer here with the response video to Sean Ershen's The Jason Voorhees Tag. I was tagged by BRONCOJUGGALO Talks Movies and my good friend Jason from Horrific Nightmares JM. So thanks guys for tagging me into this. As many of you know, I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan. It's my favorite franchise. If you haven't seen them already, I did during Friday the 13th week recently. I did a ranking of the entire franchise. So some of my responses here are going to be kind of, echoing some of what I said there, and also in the slasher tag that was happening at the same time. So, but yeah, I'm always excited to talk about Friday the 13th. So here we go, Sean. Number one, he asks, if there was never a sequel to 1980's Friday the 13th, would it still be considered a classic? Now, this was kind of hard to think about because if we never had a sequel or any follow-ups to the original, we would never have the classic, iconic Jason that we all know and really enjoy, in all of the rest of the franchise, wearing his hockey mask and, all the cool variations of his character. But that being said, I still think the original could stand alone for its time, being a really unique slasher. So yeah, guys, I think it would be very popular. It was very different for that time period. We had young Jason there as sort of the main character in conversation, but then his mom, obviously being the killer to avenge her son's death and to kind of, do right by her boy, which I've always kind of wanted to go, yeah, Pamela, but you're sick and twisted. But I think she was a great, a great slasher killer. There towards the end, it was a surprise, but I think it worked. I think it could stand alone. It would just be a bummer because we wouldn't have our hockey mask friend, would we? Number two, what's your favorite Friday the 13th film? Well, as I've said before, it is part two. I feel like it picks up nicely where the original left off. We see Jason for the first time, other than, the ending there with him jumping out of the lake in the original, but he doesn't have his hockey mask yet, but it's the first time we see grown-up Jason and him being the killer. Yeah, I just really like the atmosphere there, the story. It's fun, it's cheesy, there's a lot of laughs, there's a lot of creepy, dark, vibes going on there. All the fun stuff that you'd want to see in a slasher. It just kind of has it all, and the kills are awesome, and of course the iconic, machete to the face. Him going down backwards on the stairs. It's just really brutal and kind of hard to stomach that one. But yeah, just some of the kills that were really unique and really well thought out, I thought. Number three, what's your least favorite Friday the 13th film? And once again, I have shared this before. It is Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Excuse me. It just, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. And I know it didn't for a lot of people. I still enjoy it. It's a fun watch. Yeah, the story just misses the mark. It's not how I would want to see Jason, doing his thing. He's kind of going in and out of people's bodies, possessing them, and they're becoming Jason. And it's just too weird and a little bit too out there. So it never quite sat too well with me. But it's fun. But that's my least favorite, guys. Number four, who's your favorite final girl in the franchise? Well, that's from my favorite part two, Amy Steele. And I know a lot of guys are going to be going, yay! Um, because she's just really loved. She's strong. She's, you know, able to make choices on her own and stand up for herself. And she goes right up, you know, toe to toe, nose to nose with Jason. You know, she's terrified, but she's, you know, able to stand up to him. And, you know, she's a pretty good match for him. She's tough. So Amy Steele, just very sweet, you know, lovable final girl character. I think she's, you know, everything you'd want. She's not sleazy, you know, she's just seems like a good girl who's trying to be a good counselor and has to step up to the plate and deal with a masked murderer. She does a good job with it. Number 5, what's your favorite kill in the franchise? Well, there are so many to pick from. I probably have like a top 10 list that I could make and put on here. And some of you guys might be thinking, oh man, why'd you pick this? Because a lot of people don't really care for, you know, the remake, but I love it. I think it's a blast, and it was really well done. But the kill where Jason is walking slowly, pacing on the dock, and it's just like no music, it's silent. All you hear are his clunky boot footsteps, walking, looking for the girl there in the lake after, you know, her boyfriend was killed out on the boat and, you know, slammed into her face, and she's all messed up and confused and terrified, and that's just really kind of uncomfortable, you know, when she gets hit by the boat. And then this kill happens under the dock, you know, where she's kind of in the water. She knows Jason's walking up above her, and then, you know, when you least expect it, machete, you know, straight down through, and it gets her in the head, and it just kind of like a clunk, bump, and dropped, you know, and it's just really kind of brutal and not really drawn out, and almost a little bit funny with how it happens, you know, all of a sudden, but it's just looks really real, and yep, that's it for her. Number 6, who is your favorite actor to play Jason in the franchise? And I don't need to spend much time on this one, guys. I really liked a lot of the actors. It was awesome to see them share some background and experience as playing Jason through the different documentaries. His name was Jason, which, as I've shared before, I do a review on my channel of that one, as well as the Crystal Lake Memories documentary, which was even more in-depth, you know, and just spans just everything that you could ever want to see and hear about the making of the franchise and each film. And so I highly recommend those if you haven't seen those. But yeah, you know, that being said, there's a lot of good ones, but I got to go with Kane Hodder. Just his, you know, tough presence and just, I don't know, his aura is just really, really, I don't know, intense and creepy and foreboding, and he's just, he's a brute, man. But not that some of the other guys aren't too, but yep, Kane Hodder, good stuff. He really impressed me with his, you know, portrayal of Victor Crowley too. So I'm really glad that he was willing to get pulled into that really cool Adam Green slasher franchise there. Just really, really great, you know, beast. Creepy dude. Number 7, were you happy with the events of part 5? And if not, what would you have done differently? Now this movie never sat well with too many fans of the franchise. As I said before, I think it probably could have ended, you know, after part 4. I'm glad it didn't, because we got more Jason, and we'd still, you know, we're still able to talk about it today with so many more movies now to, you know, enjoy and chat about. Part 5, I enjoyed it. It's definitely not one of my favorites. I think there were some parts that didn't, you know, it didn't really work for the franchise. You know, Tommy Jarvis, and you're not really sure if he's becoming Jason or if he is the new Jason or who the killer is, but I think I was actually kind of pleased with this one. I watched it, a number of times now, and I enjoyed each time. So um, I think it works. I wouldn't mess with it. It's not an all around great installment, but yeah, I think it's fine. And finally, number 8. Do you think the next Friday the 13th film should be a remake of the original 1980 film, a sequel to the 2001 reboot, or an all new story? Well, I think a remake of the original would be really cool, but I don't think it needs to be done. I think that should stand alone. I think it should kind of have its place in the franchise as being the original, old school, the one that started it all. And I think they would be really messing with, I don't know, touchy territory if they would mess with that one, and change it up, for the worse, or screw it up. I think that could really taint things. Taint. Hope you got a chuckle on that one. But I don't know. I think they'd be best off kind of picking up where the reboot left off, but not necessarily doing like that same style. I think it needs to be a new story. I think we need to go forward. There was already the reboot. I love it. A lot of people have mixed feelings about it. I get that. But I feel like between a continuation of the reboot and a brand new story that feels different, and takes us to new territory, maybe we see Jason in a different way. I don't know. But yeah, what do you think, guys? Feel free to make some comments, and if you differ, from me regarding my responses in any way, let me know. I always have fun, seeing people's different impressions. And yeah, thanks, Sean, for doing the Jason Vorhees tag. I'm gonna link his channel here, as well as Bronco Juggalo and Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Thanks, guys, for tagging me into this. This was cool. Always neat to talk about Friday the 13th. But yeah, I'm gonna let this open. Normally I try to tag at least like 2 or 3 people, but I've seen like so many of my fellow YouTubers tackle this and get pulled into it, and I'm not sure who all they have tagged and who is planning on doing it yet. So it's open. If you're a fan of Friday the 13th and you haven't done one of these yet, hey, here you go. Have at it. But it's open. Have fun with the tag. I'm interested to see some really cool responses. So, all right, guys, rock on. Thanks for watching.